Hey, Mr. Sneed. It's us again. One thing I don't like so much about London is the rain. That little shower on the way over here nearly drenched me. Thank heavens for brollies. The hell? What are brollies? Well, Carson, I hope Mr. Sneed is in a good mood today. His help in a fact search can make all the difference. Excuse us, Mr. Sneed. We need to do some research about Frankenstein. Humph. Well, luckily for you, I have already pulled out all the books about Mary Shelley, and the young lady who requested them has just left. Here they are. That's a lucky coincidence. Mary Shelley? Is she the one who wrote Frankenstein? Yes. Now, if you'll excuse me, I must be about my business. It's extra cranky today. Prometheus. What does that name mean, Carson? Let's look it up in the dictionary. Here it is. It's the name of a guy from old Greek myths. Just some dude from some myths. He's the one who stole fire from the gods and brought it down for humans to use. How can we find out more about Prometheus? Let's check out the books in the reference section and see what we can find. It's always the same stack of books. The encyclopedia only goes up to I. We've got a random book of birds. The book of world records, which I don't think we ever use. Good choice. The story of Prometheus is a myth, which means he never really existed. So we'd never find him in any history book, but only in a book about myths. Yeah, we got it. According to the myth, he is the one who started human civilization, but the gods were angry that he gave humans the power of fire and punished him. That's why Frankenstein is the modern Prometheus. Like Prometheus, he brought a powerful new knowledge into the world, and like Prometheus, he was punished for doing it. Sure enough, Carson, all these books say Mary Shelley began to write the classic Frankenstein, or the modern Prometheus, in 1816. She was only 19 years old at the time. Well, I feel like a failure. Here, listen to how she says she wrote the story. I was staying in Italy with my husband and some friends. To entertain ourselves, after dinner we would tell each other horror stories, but I couldn't think of a good one. Until one night I had a dream. In my dream a man named Frankenstein discovers how to use science to make a dead body come back to life. But although Mr. Victor Frankenstein learned how to create life, he didn't think ahead. He didn't know how to control the thing he created, and it eventually destroyed everything he loved. Frankenstein was one of the first modern stories to warn people how scientific progress could turn to disaster, if not wisely controlled. But wait! There's a note here about the story. In order to get her story published, Mary Shelley submitted it anonymously. That means she didn't sign her name to it. After 12 years, the story became a sensation. It was only then that Mary Shelley could get it published under her own name. Her book is still immensely popular today. I guess in those days women weren't supposed to be writing books and stuff, but Mary Shelley didn't pay any attention to that at all. There's our answer, Carson. That old book is one of the earliest editions of Frankenstein. It might be worth a lot of money. Let's go steal it. Be like, nah, Dorothea, it's really not worth anything. You should just give it to me. I see Felix and Aaron are still here. Never made it to the cricket match, huh? Dorothea, good news. Looks like you found a real treasure. That copy of Frankenstein may very well be one of the first copies ever printed. Good news for Frankenstein, maybe, but not for me. It's been stolen, right out from under my nose. Stolen? How? By whom? By the Frankenstein monster himself. Guy Wingo, how could you let this happen? You're the worst adult. Well, that's one cheeky bloke, eh? Nicked that book right off under Officer Barbrook's nose. Must have been a pretty desperate chap to do that. Pretty fast runner, too. Nipped in here and nipped out, just as quick as you please. Do you have any idea who that was underneath the monster mask? Sorry, mate. It all happened so fast. It was a kid, that's all I can tell you. Guy Winko, you suck. What I don't get is why anyone would steal it in the first place. It was just a silly old book. Not just any old book, Nat. At the British Library, we found out that it was probably an original early edition. That means it could be quite valuable. Really? And Dorothea spotted it right away. Good for her! That must be why she got so cagey when anyone else wanted to have a look at it. But how on earth did anyone else find that the book was valuable? The British Library is the only place I can think of where you could find that out for sure. Well, Natalie, I think that's your answer. I was waiting here for you two to come back from the library when someone dashed in and grabbed the book. I couldn't tell who they were because they were wearing a hideous mask over their face, a Frankenstein mask. P.C. Barbrook took off after the thief, but whoever it was, he or she was a terribly fast runner. I bet they got clean away. We found out that the book was authentic, Dorothea. It's probably worth a lot of money. I guess so, Jennifer. Why else would someone bother to steal it? He or she knew exactly where to find it, too. Snatched it right out of my pile of books. Really? That's a killer clue, Dorothea. Whoever dashed in and stole the book must have been here earlier and seen where you put it. The thief must have gone somewhere to find out that it really was valuable, got into disguise, and then came back and grabbed the book. He or she knew that you already had dibs on it, so they just stole it right out from under you. Or in front of you, whatever. I just make up my own dialogue sometimes. Well, let's see. Only 4 people have been here and then left. Griff Johns, Kelly Apgood, Rebecca Locke, and that new girl. Stupid new girl. She can go hang out with Jake. Grace White. One of them must be the thief. Felix and Aaron are too busy to talk to us. They're probably like on their 5th book each. They've never gotten up. Near the table where Dorothea kept the book she wanted to buy is a muddy footprint pointing towards the door. Hey, look, Carson, remember it rained just after we left the Phaeton Club? Anyone who came back to the book sale after it had rained would leave muddy prints. This footprint must be the thief's. It's the print of a sneaker. A pretty small one, too. I mean, couldn't they tell it was a girl? Like, oh, I don't know. It could be Griff, even though he weighs like 200 more pounds than Rebecca. Griff John said he was coming here to watch the match. If he can prove he's been here all along, we can remove him from our list of suspects. This was like the stupidest location we've ever had to go to. Uh-oh. The stadium is really crowded, Carson. It's hopeless to try and find anyone. Griff could well be here among all these people. We have no way of proving whether he is or isn't. Oh, well.